Hey travelers, another day, another cruise update. Imagine the world's largest cruise ship, the icon of the seas, with its epic water park and the frightening bold Waterslide, built for thrills and bragging rights at sea. Riders expect surrendering to adrenaline, not danger. But on the evening of August 7, 2025, that thrill turned terrifying. Midway through the ride, a panel of acrylic glass shattered, creating a gaping hole in the slide that could have spelled catastrophe. Instead, an adult guest survived a serious cut from legs to hands as water gushed through the breach onto the deck below, frightening not only the rider but everyone nearby. One guest captured the chaos on video, passengers screaming, "Stop the slide! Stop the slide!" As safety quickly became the top priority. Remarkably, the injured guest is reported to be in stable condition after receiving prompt medical care on board. And now, Royal Caribbean has shut down the Waterslide for the remainder of the sailing and possibly beyond while experts investigate the cause. In this video, we'll break down what went wrong, how cruise safety protocols work under pressure, and if you should still feel confident sliding on cruise ship water parks. It was early evening, and the water park on Icon of the Seas was still buzzing with activity. Families, friends, and thrill seekers were lining up for the frightening bolt, a towering, enclosed water slide that's one of the crown jewels of the ship's Category 6 water park. A male passenger climbed into the slide start capsule. The hatch closed, and he launched into the twisting tube. For the first few seconds, everything was normal: rushing water, the adrenaline of sharp turns, and the anticipation of the drop. Then, in a split second, things changed. A section of acrylic paneling along the slide wall suddenly cracked and broke away. Witnesses say the sound was like a loud pop, followed by the rush of water spilling through the gap. The rider inside immediately tried to slow himself down, using his hands and feet to press against the slide's surface. From the deck below, guests noticed something was wrong. Water was streaming out of the hole, splashing onto the walkway, and shouts began, "Stop the slide! Stop the slide!" Crew members quickly moved to block the entrance, halting the ride for everyone still in line. The injured passenger emerged at the end of the slide with visible cuts on his legs and hands. Crew trained in first aid were on the scene within moments, applying pressure to the wounds and escorting him to the ship's medical center for evaluation. Guests nearby described the atmosphere as shaken but orderly. Parents pulled children away from the ride area, and security personnel roped it off while engineers inspected the damage. By nightfall, the water slide was officially closed. Signs were posted, and crew confirmed it would remain shut for the rest of the sailing while safety teams investigated. Although there was no official announcement over the ship's PA system, word spread quickly among passengers, and many began questioning whether other slides could have similar vulnerabilities. For Royal Caribbean, a quick and thorough response was critical, not only for the guests' well-being but to reassure thousands of other passengers on board. Within minutes of the incident, Royal Caribbean's safety protocols kicked into gear. The ride was immediately shut down, access to the entire slide tower was restricted, and engineering crews began inspecting not only the damaged slide but the surrounding structure. The injured guest received prompt medical treatment in the ship's onboard medical center. While the cuts were described as significant, they were not life-threatening. The guest was stabilized, treated for potential infection risk, and monitored closely for the remainder of the voyage. According to fellow passengers, he was in good spirits later that evening, though understandably shaken by the experience. Royal Caribbean quietly informed guests in the water park area that the slide would remain closed for the rest of the cruise. The line stopped short of making a shipwide announcement, likely to prevent unnecessary panic. But by then the news had spread rapidly, helped along by videos and photos shared on social media. Behind the scenes, the ship's engineering and safety officers worked to determine whether the break was due to a structural defect, a manufacturing flaw, or an isolated accident caused by unusual force or impact. In cases like this, cruise lines often collaborate with the ride manufacturer and independent safety inspectors before reopening an attraction. From an operational standpoint, this closure is a big deal. The Icon of the Seas promotes its Category 6 water park as a major selling point, and the frightening bolt is its star attraction. Losing it mid-cruise affects passenger satisfaction, especially for guests who booked specifically for the thrill rides. Royal Caribbean has not yet confirmed whether the incident will result in changes to safety procedures, inspections, or compensation for impacted guests. Historically, in similar situations, cruise lines may offer small onboard credits or other goodwill gestures, but they rarely issue large-scale refunds unless a significant portion of the ship's amenities is impacted. For now, the priority is twofold: ensuring the guests' recovery and guaranteeing that this type of equipment failure doesn't happen again. And given the visibility of Icon of the Seas as the world's largest cruise ship, Royal Caribbean knows the whole industry is watching. Incidents like this, while rare, can shake passenger confidence confidence, especially when they happen on a ship that's brand new and highly publicized. The Icon of the Seas has been marketed as the pinnacle of modern cruise engineering, with cutting-edge safety features and some of the most ambitious attractions ever built at sea. So when part of a headline ride fails, guests start to wonder, could it happen again? Cruise ships operate under strict international safety regulations, and attractions like water slides must pass rigorous inspections before they open to the public. But once a ship is in service, ongoing maintenance and frequent safety checks are the real safeguards. Acrylic panels like the one that failed are common in enclosed slides for their durability and clarity. However, they can still be vulnerable to stress, extreme temperatures, or unexpected impact. Even a tiny manufacturing flaw or micro crack could eventually lead to a break under the right conditions. Historically, water park incidents on cruise ships are extremely uncommon compared to land-based parks. Still, they tend to get amplified in the media because of the unique environment, a self-contained vessel where passengers can't simply leave for another attraction. For Royal Caribbean, the challenge is twofold: preparing the ride to exacting safety standards and communicating those measures in a way that reassures guests. Transparency will be key because no matter how advanced the technology, guests need to believe it's safe before they step into that launch capsule again. Now, I want to hear from you. If you were on the Icon of the Seas this week and a frightening Bolt water slide reopened after repairs, would you ride it? A. Absolutely. Accidents happen, and I'd trust the repairs and inspections. B. No way. Once something breaks like that, I'm not taking the risk. C. Maybe, but only after I see proof of a full safety investigation. Drop your answer in the comments with the letter A, B, or C and tell me why. I'll feature some of your responses in an upcoming video. The Icon of the Seas was designed to push the limits of fun at sea, and for most guests, that's exactly what it delivers. But this week's incident is a sharp reminder that even the most advanced attractions are not immune to unexpected failures. For the injured guest, a quick medical response and prompt care made all the difference. For Royal Caribbean, how they handle the investigation and repairs will set the tone for passenger trust moving forward. When you step onto a cruise ship, you expect the rides, slides, and amenities to be safe, and in almost every case, they are. But rare moments like this prove why constant inspections, preventative maintenance, and transparent communication are just as important as record-breaking thrills. As passengers, we also have a role to play, following safety instructions, respecting ride guidelines, and speaking up if we notice anything unusual. The Icon of the Seas will sail on, and the frightening Bolt will likely reopen stronger and safer than before. But this story will stick in the minds of many, and for some, it might be the deciding factor on whether to take the plunge literally. Because on any cruise, safety should always come first and fun a very close second.